The spotlight hit me like a freight train, blinding white and unrelenting. As I jolted awake mid-chorus, my voice cracking on a high note that wasn't even mine. Sweat poured down my face, mixing with the stage makeup I'd apparently forgotten I was wearing, and the entire cast of East High's production of Beauty and the Beast stared at me like I just confessed to stealing the Beast's rose. Cut! What the hell, Alex? Our director, Mrs. Hargrove, barked from the house seats, her clipboard slamming against her knee. But I couldn't hear her, because in that split-second haze, my eyes locked onto him, leaning against the auditorium wall with a smirk that could unravel the world. I blinked hard, trying to shake off the fog that clung to my brain like bad dream residue. This wasn't right. Last thing I remembered was crashing on my couch after a brutal shift at the coffee shop, scrolling through old high school photos on my phone. Photos from senior year, the year everything went to hell. But now I was 16 again, heart pounding in a body that felt too small, too breakable, standing center stage in the same ratty costume I'd worn a decade ago. And there he was, Jax Harlan, the cool brother of the villain, watching me with those storm-gray eyes that had haunted my regrets for years. Alex, you okay? My best friend, Mia. God. She looked so young, all braids and braces. Grabbed my arm, her whisper sharp with worry. The auditorium buzzed with murmurs, the kind that spread like wildfire in a school like East High, where drama wasn't just on stage. It was the air we breathed. I nodded dumbly, my throat dry as sandpaper, because what could I say? Hey guys, I think I time traveled back to 2015, and oh yeah, I'm still madly in love with a straight guy's brother who doesn't even know I exist yet? No. Instead, I forced a laugh, the kind that echoed hollow. Just method acting the Beast's inner turmoil. Nailed it, right? Mrs. Hargrove wasn't buying it. She stormed up the aisle, her sensible loafers clicking like Judgment Day. This is your big solo tomorrow night, Alexander Rivera. If you flake again, you're out, and we'll have to recast with that smug understudy. Smug understudy. That was code for Chad, the golden boy quarterback who thought theater was beneath him but joined for extra credit. I mumbled an apology, slinking off stage toward the wings, where the shadows felt safer. Safer until I nearly collided with him. Jax Harlan. 6 feet of effortless cool, with a faded black hoodie over his band tee. Some indie rock group I discover later, and jeans that hung just right, like he didn't care but knew exactly how they looked. He was propping up the wall with one shoulder, scrolling his phone, but when I stumbled into his space, he looked up slow, like he had all the time in the world. Whoa, easy there, Beast Boy, he drawled, that low Alabama twang sneaking through despite his Albuquerque transplant status. His family had moved here 2 years back, right when his older brother, Derek, the villain of every whispered hallway tale, started terrorizing the theater kids for sport. I froze, the scent of his cologne, something woodsy and forbidden, hitting me like a gut punch. In my real life, Jax had been the one bright spot in that nightmare year. The guy who'd show up after Derek's pranks, muttering apologies while handing out contraband energy drinks to the crew. We'd bonded over late-night script runs, him sneaking in guitar riffs to fix the boring songs. But I'd never told him how I felt, never crossed that line. And now, here he was, in this warped second chance, smirking like he could see right through my panic. You look like you saw a ghost, he said, pocketing his phone. Or maybe just Derek's ugly mug in the parking lot. I laughed. Too loud, too forced, but it broke the tension. Yeah, well, ghosts are less scary. He was the ghost, the what-if that had kept me up nights in my lonely apartment, wondering if I'd ever get it right. Mia tugged me away then, hissing about hydration and focus, but as I glanced back, Jax was still watching, head tilted, like I'd just become the most interesting puzzle in the room. Rehearsals dragged on after that, a blur of blocking and belting that made my head spin. I nailed the reprise of If I Can't Love Her, channeling every ounce of the ache I'd buried since graduation. The cast applauded half-heartedly. Everyone was fried. But Jax? He was gone when I looked again, vanished like smoke. By the time we wrapped at 9, the desert night had cooled the air to a crisp bite, stars punching holes in the ink-black sky over the Sandia Mountains. I lingered in the parking lot, fumbling with my bike lock, the one with the duct-taped handle that screamed, "Broke kid." That's when the truck roared up, tires crunching gravel like bones. Derek Harlan's cherry-red Ford, jacked up on lifts, bass thumping from the speakers. He killed the engine, and out spilled the usual crew. Meatheads from the football team laughing like hyenas. Derek himself unfolded from the driver's seat, all broad shoulders and buzz-cut menace. A sharp-tattooed losers, still fresh on the prop table from last week's sabotage. "Rivera," he bellowed, spotting me. "Heard you bombed that song. Fitting for a fairy like you." The word landed like a slap, casual cruelty wrapped in a grin. Fairy. I'd heard it 1,000 times in whispers, but from him, it was a declaration. My fists clenched around the chain, heart slamming. In my old life, I'd swallowed it, pedaled away into the dark. But this time, God help me, this time I stepped forward. Funny, Harlan. Last I checked, villains don't get the girl. Or the curtain call. His crew hooted, but Derek's face twisted, red creeping up his neck. He lunged, but before his meaty hand could connect, a shadow detached from the truck bed. "Jax, back off, Durr," he said, voice flat but edged like a blade. He dropped down lightly, boots hitting dirt, and positioned himself between us without a second thought. "Not worth the suspension." Again. Derek snarled, shoving Jax's shoulder. Hard enough to make him stagger, but Jax didn't flinch. "Stay out of it, little bro. This ain't your circus." The brothers locked eyes, a storm brewing in the silence, years of fractured loyalty crackling like static. Finally, Derek spat on the ground, inches from my sneakers. "Whatever. Freak shows tomorrow. Break a leg, Rivera." He climbed back in, revving the engine as his goons piled in, tires spinning dust clouds that choked the air. I stood there, trembling, until the taillights faded. Jax turned, rubbing his shoulder like it was nothing. "You good?" Up close in the sodium glow of the street lamp. His eyes were softer, worry lines etching his forehead too young for 17. "Yeah. I lied, then, thanks. Didn't need to do that." He shrugged, that half-smile flickering back. "Family's a bitch. Gotta keep the peace somehow." He paused, glancing at my bike. "Need a ride?" Truck's still warm. I hesitated. In my first go-round, I'd said no, pride or fear or whatever teenage bullshit keeping me pedaling home alone, replaying the what-ifs. But now I was done with regrets. "Sure," I said, voice steadier than I felt. "Lead the way." The cab smelled like pine air freshener and faint weed. Jax's rebellion. He confessed with a grin as he tossed me a spare helmet for the bike in the back. We didn't talk much on the drive, just the hum of classic rock on low, windows down to let the wind whip through. My house was first, a squat adobe on the edge of town, porch light flickering like it was on its last bulb. He pulled up slow, killing the engine. Silence stretched, thick and electric. "Hey," he said finally, twisting to face me. "That song today? The one about not loving her? You killed it. Like, for real." Heat rushed my cheeks. "Thanks. Personal." He nodded like he got it, deeper than words. "Yeah. Theater kids and their baggage. A beat. See you tomorrow, Beast Boy." "Alex," I corrected, hopping out. "And yeah, tomorrow." As I watched his truck disappear around the corner, taillights winking goodbye, I touched my chest, feeling the wild thump beneath. Waking up in this life, whatever cosmic joke it was, had given me one shot. And damn if I wasn't going to take it. The auditorium smelled like fresh paint and desperation the next morning. Sunlight slanting through the clear-story windows in dusty shafts that danced with floating lint. I'd barely slept, replaying the truck cab ride like a looped reel. Jax's profile against the passing streetlights, the way his fingers drummed the wheel to an old Springsteen track, casual but rhythmic, like he was keeping time to a secret heartbeat. By the time I shoved through the double doors, script clutched like a lifeline. My nerves were frayed wires ready to spark. Mrs. Hargrove had us running the full Act 1 that day, no mercy. I was Gaston. Ironic, given the beefcake vibes. But in this production, it was a twist. The hunter as the heartbroken outsider, pining for Belle while the village turned on him. Fitting, I thought, as I marked my spot downstage, the wooden planks creaking under my sneakers. Mia, as Mrs. Potts, shot me a thumbs up from the wings, her teapot costume already wilting in the heat. "You've got this, Elle. Channel that inner diva." Diva, right? More like channeling the ghost of Alex past, the one who'd bombed opening night and spent the rest of senior year dodging Derek's crew. But today I breathed into the mic, voice steady as I launched into me, the number that always got the biggest laughs. The cast fell in, harmonies swelling like a tide, and for a moment, I lost myself in it. The rush of lights, the thrum of shared breath, until intermission when Jack slipped in. He wasn't cast, never had been, but he'd taken to haunting rehearsals like a stray cat, perched on the lip of the stage with a notebook, sketching lyrics or chords or whatever genius brewed in that head of his. Today he had his guitar, acoustic, beat up from too many backyard jams, and when our eyes met across the footlights, he strummed a lazy riff, low and teasing, like an inside joke. "Harlan," Mrs. Hargrove called without looking up from her notes. "If you're here to contribute, get on the piano. Otherwise, out." Jax hopped down without missing a beat, sliding onto the bench with that liquid grace. Aye, Captain." His fingers danced over the keys, improvising a bridge for Belle's entrance that made the whole scene breathe deeper, more alive. I watched him through the scrim, mesmerized, as if he'd uncorked something bottled up inside me. When we broke for lunch, he caught me at the vending machine, quarters jingling in his palm. Hungry, he fed one into the slot, punching buttons for a Snickers. On me. Consider it hazard pay for dealing with my brother. I took it, chocolate melting already in the desert warmth. He's not so bad, just loud. Jack snorted, leaning against the humming machine. Loud's one word for it. Dad's been riding him hard since the move. Football scholarships or bust. Makes him meaner than a wet cat. He unwrapped his own bar, biting in thoughtfully. Mom says he's just protecting me, like I'm the fragile one. There it was, the crack in the armor, the hint of the family fractures I'd only glimpsed before. In my old life, Jax had dropped out junior year, chasing music gigs in Austin, leaving whispers and a half-finished demo tape. I'd found it years later at a flea market, played it on loop until the cassette snapped. "You're not fragile," I said, meeting his gaze. "You're the one holding it together." His laugh was soft, surprised. "Deep, Rivera. You always this philosophical post-lunch. Only when caffeinated." I nodded at the half-empty coffee in his hand, pilfered from Hargrove's pot. We talked then, easy like slipping into a favorite jacket. About the musical's cheesiness, how Gaston secretly envied the beast's raw emotion. About Albuquerque's endless skies versus his Alabama roots, fireflies and sweet tea he missed. About music, him spilling on his band's latest flop of a gig at some dive bar. Me confessing my secret playlist of show tunes mashed with punk. By the time the bell rang, school policy, even for rehearsals, the Snickers wrapper was trash, but the buzz between us lingered. "Walk you to chem?" he offered, slinging his backpack. "Sure." We wove through the crowded halls, lockers slamming like punctuation, kids shouting hellos that blurred into white noise. Jax bumped my shoulder lightly. "Hey, that opening tomorrow, nervous?" "Terrified." Truth. In the first timeline, stage fright had me freeze, Derek's heckles from the back row the final nail. He stopped at my classroom door, hand on the frame. "You'll crush it. And if not, well, blame the script." His grin faded, serious now. "Seriously, Alex, you've got something real up there. Don't let the noise drown it." I swallowed, words tangling. "I like you. Have for years. In another life, maybe. But all I managed was, 'Thanks, Jax. Means a lot.'" Class dragged, equations blurring on the board, my mind replaying his words like a mantra. After school, rehearsals ramped up, dress run, full lights, the works. I transformed into Gaston under the layers. Velvet vest, boots polished to a gleam, The mirror backstage showed a stranger, confident, almost, but inside, I was a storm. Mia adjusted my cravat, chattering about post-show parties. You and me, diner run. No excuses. Deal. But as the house lights dimmed, my eyes scanned the seats. Jax was there, third row, alone, nursing a soda. When the curtain rose and I strode out, belting me to thunderous applause, his was the face I found, smiling, proud, like he believed in me more than I did. Act 2 flew by in a haze of ad-libs and near misses, the beast's transformation mirroring my own unraveling. By finale, sweat-soaked and soaring, I took my bow with the cast, the roar of the crowd a living thing. Backstage, chaos reigned. Flowers, hugs, Chad preening like he'd carried the show. Mia dragged me into a group selfie, but I broke away when I saw him, Jax, waiting by the exit, guitar case in hand. Beast no more? He teased, but his eyes were warm, searching. Free at last. I wiped my brow, high on adrenaline. Come to the cast party? Diner on Central. My treat. Well, Mia's technically. He hesitated, glancing at his phone. A text from Derek, probably. Where you at? Can't. Band thing. Lie, I could tell by the way his jaw tightened. But rain check. You earned it. Disappointment stung, sharp and familiar. Yeah, rain check. He stepped closer then, close enough I could count the freckles across his nose. Proud of you, Alex. His hand clapped my shoulder, lingering a beat too long, thumb brushing collarbone. Electric. Then he was gone, melting into the night. The diner party blurred, fries and milkshakes, laughter echoing off chrome. But I nursed a Coke at the counter, mind elsewhere. Mia noticed, of course. Spill Rivera. Who's got you mooning? No one. But as I biked home under street lamps, phone buzzing with congrats texts, one stood out. Jax. Nailed it. Listen to this. Attached, a voice memo. His guitar weaving a melody around. If I can't love her. Lyrics twisted to something raw, personal. If I can't have you. My breath caught. Replay. Again. Heart racing, I typed back. That's, wow. For the show? His reply lit the screen. Nah. For the guy who sang it. I stopped pedaling, world tilting. For me? Or was this the second chance rewriting itself, pulling us toward the edge? Either way, tomorrow loomed, strike the set, but build something new. And for the first time, I wasn't afraid to fall. That night, dreams tangled. Stage lights bleeding into desert sunsets, Jax's voice echoing like a promise. I woke to my alarm, 2015 sun filtering through curtains that smelled of mom's laundry soap. Faintly, like home. School was a gauntlet of high fives and great show echoes, but the Real Pull was rehearsal hall, where props were dismantled like bones of a slain beast. Jax was there early, helping haul flats, muscles flexing under his tee. When he saw me, that grin flashed. Morning, superstar. Creep. Stalking now. Tease, light. Guilty. He wiped sweat from his brow, handing me a water bottle, cold, condensation beating. Figured you'd need it after last night. We worked side by side, banter flowing easy as sawdust. He confessed the band thing was a dodge, Derek's postgame rager, the kind that ended in cop lights. Didn't want to drag you into that mess. Me? I'm already messy. I stacked chairs, voice dropping. Thanks for the track. Stuck in my head. Good. His eyes held mine, intensity building. Meant it to. The air thickened, charged. Mrs. Hargrove's voice shattered it. Rivera. Harlan. Flirt later, work now. Laughter rippled, but Jax just winked, unfazed. By afternoon, the hall echoed empty, us the last stragglers. I taped a loose seam on a flat, him tuning his guitar nearby. Play it, I asked, nodding at the strings. The one from last night. He did, fingers coaxing magic from wood and wire. I sat cross-legged on the stage, listening as he sang, voice rough, honest, words painting a boy chasing shadows in a town too small for dreams. When he finished, silence hummed. Beautiful, I whispered. You're wasted here, Jax. You should go. He set the guitar aside, scooting closer. And leave what? This? Gesture vague, but his eyes said you. Our knees brushed. Pulse thundered. Jax. He leaned in, breath mingling. Alex, The door banged open. Derek, reeking of beer and rage, filling the frame. There you are. Been looking everywhere, you little shit. His gaze landed on us, narrowing. What the fuck is this? Rehearsal foreplay with the theater fag. Time slowed. Jax surged up, shielding me. Not now. Go home. Derek laughed. Ugly. Protecting your boyfriend? Classy. He advanced, fists balled. Dad's gonna love this. Betrayal flashed in Jax's eyes. Not at me, but the truth spilling like poison. I stood, voice steel. Leave, Harlan, before you regret it. He lunged, but Jax blocked, shoving back. Enough! The crack echoed, brother on brother. Derek swung wild, connecting with Jax's jaw, a sick thud. Blood welled, Jax staggering. Rage ignited. I tackled Derek, fists flying in a blur of adrenaline and old ghosts. We hit the floor rolling, grunts and curses, until Mia's scream pierced. She'd come back for her script. Lights flickered on, Hargrove bursting in, phone to ear. Cops came. Statements. Derek hauled away, spitting venom. Jax iced his lip in the nurse's office. Me beside him, knuckles bruised. Sorry, he muttered. For all of it. Don't. I touched his hand, tentative. We're in this now. He squeezed back, eyes fierce. Yeah, we are. Outside, stars wheeled cold overhead. My bike forgotten, we walked, slow, silent, toward whatever dawn this second chance promised. But shadows lingered. Derek's threats a whisper on the wind. The villain wasn't done. And neither was the story. The fallout hit like monsoon season in the desert. Sudden, drenching, turning everything to mud. By Monday, the school was a tinderbox of rumors. Derek Harlan arrested for assault, his football dreams guttered like a match in rain. Me, the theater kid who snapped, hailed as hero or fool depending on the crowd. Jax, caught in the crossfire, ghosting classes with a split lip blooming purple. I texted him a dozen times, you okay? Need anything? But silence answered, thicker than the adobe walls of my house. Mom noticed, of course. She worked doubles at the hospital, scrubs stained with other people's crises. But her radar for mine was unbreakable. Over reheated tamales that night, she set down her fork, eyes sharp. Mijo, what's eating you? That fight. Alex, you could have been hurt. I poked at my plate, the corn masa turning to paste in my mouth. Had to, Mom. He was gonna hurt Jax. The word stuck too raw. In this looped life, she'd aged gracefully into her worry lines. But I remembered her younger self, fierce at parent-teacher nights, defending my dramatic tendencies against whispers. It's complicated. She reached across, hand warm on mine. Love's always complicated. But it doesn't have to break you. Her smile was sad, knowing. Dad had left when I was 10, chasing better in California. Code for a new family. She'd raised me solo, teaching me that hearts mend if you let them. If only she knew how far I'd come to learn it. School Tuesday was a siege. Mia glued to my side, her locker collage of Broadway posters a shield. Derek's suspended indefinitely. Coaches pissed. Lost their star tackle. She grinned, fierce. Karma's a bitch. Yeah. But my eyes scanned for Jax, finding empty space. Lunch found me alone in the band room, picking at a sandwich, when the door creaked. Him. Hood up, backpack slung low, looking like he'd fought sleep and lost. Hideout. I stood, crossing quick. Up close, the bruise shadowed his jaw, a map of fractures. Something like that. He dropped into a chair, exhaling long. Dad flipped, called me every name but my own. Said I'm just like. He trailed, eyes on the floor. Like who? Me? Hurt edged my voice, sharper than intended. No. He looked up, fierce. Like him. Mom. The ones who ruin things. His family lore trickled out then, Dad's belt. Mom's tears before she left for Birmingham. Derek stepping up as the man, twisting protection into poison. Jax the afterthought, the dreamer Dad dismissed as soft. "You're not soft," I said fierce. "You're the strongest one there." He laughed, bitter. "Tell that to the mirror." But then softer, "Thanks for Saturday. Jumping in like that. No one's ever. Always." The word hung promise. I sat beside him, our shoulders brushing. A lifeline in the dim light of stacked chairs and forgotten sheet music. "Skip with me? Get air." We did, slipping out a side door into the quad, where cottonwoods shed gold leaves like confetti. The bench by the fountain became ours, feet dangling in the trickle of water, talking in loops. His demo tracks, my buried dream of Juilliard, abandoned in the first life for practical jobs. Laughter crept in, tentative, then free. Jax mimicking Hargrove's scowl, me butchering a chord on air guitar. As the bell rang distant, he turned, serious. "Alex, about the other night, before der showed." His hand found mine under the bench, fingers lacing tentative. "Warm. Real. I meant what I started to say. I like you. More than like." Heart stuttered. This was it, the fork in the timeline. "Me too," I breathed. "For longer than you know." Our first kiss was clumsy, all nerves and newness. Lips brushing soft, then sure, under the rustle of leaves. Salt and sweetness, his hand cupping my neck, mine tangling in his hair. When we broke, foreheads pressed, the world narrowed to his whisper, "Worth the wait." School blurred after that, stolen moments stacking like kindling. Notes in lockers, meet me, roof, Jay, hands brushing in halls, a shared headphone on the bleachers, his playlist bleeding into mine. Theater club became cover, us lingering post-meetings to rehearse lines, which meant make-outs against the prop wall, breathless and bold. Mia caught us once, squealing finally, before swearing secrecy. But Derek loomed, a thunderhead. Whispers said he was out on bail, Dad's connections pulling strings. Jax tensed at every shadow, phone buzzing with blocked calls. "He won't stop," he confessed one dusk. Us sprawled on my roof under stars like spilled diamonds. "Thinks he's saving me from this." Gesture between us. "He's wrong." I traced his palm, mapping calluses from strings. "We'll face him. Together." "Yeah." But doubt flickered a crack. Climax brewed midweek. During the fall festival, booths and hayrides, the school's bid for normalcy. Jax and I manned the dunk tank, him in the seat, me tossing wet sponges at hecklers. Laughter pealed, his soaked tee clinging, grin defiant. Then, across the field, Derek. Out of bounds, eyes locked on us like missiles. He charged, crowd parting. "You!" Spit flew, turning my brother queer. Jax climbed out dripping, stepping forward. "Thea, stop. It's not." "Shut up." Derek swung, but I blocked, sponge forgotten. Chaos erupted. Shoves, shouts, a teacher hauling Derek back as security swarmed. Jax pulled me away, face ashen. "We gotta go. Now." We ran, hearts pounding, to his truck hidden behind the gym. Inside, engine roaring to life, he gripped the wheel white-knuckled. That was him declaring war. "Where to?" I asked, hand on his thigh anchor. "Anywhere but here." He peeled out, tires screaming, toward the foothills where Pinion twisted against red rock. We parked at a overlook, city lights sprawling below like a promise. In the cab he broke, tears hot on my shoulder, body shaking. "I can't lose you, but I can't lose him either. He's all I." "You won't." I held him, rocking gentle. "We'll fix this. Talk to him. Make him see." He nodded into my neck, spent. That night we drove back slow, my head on his shoulder, radio soft with ballads. Hope flickered, fragile but fierce. But betrayal waits in the wings. Friday after psych, I found my locker vandalized, FAG scrawled in red, photos taped. Us kissing, snap secret. Panic clawed. "Jax?" "No." The angle screamed inside job. Mia found me there, scrubbing futile. "Derek." she hissed. Or one of his. Jax arrived then, face crumpling. Alex, shit, I'm sorry. He hugged me fierce, but his eyes darted guilt, no fear. Who? I demanded, pulling back. He deflated. I told him, last night, tried to explain, make peace. He lost it, said he'd make you pay. Betrayal sliced, not from Jax, but the trust shattered. You promised together. I know. Tears welled. Thought I could fix it alone. Stupid. Hurt boiled. We're not your fix, Jax. We're us. I stormed off, leaving him amid the ruins. That night, alone in my room, phone dark, regret gnawed. Second chance, squandered? But dawn brought a knock. Jax, eyes red-rimmed, holding a cassette. Listen, then decide. I did, alone, his voice, raw apology in song. I broke us trying to save the pieces. Sobs choked me. Forgiveness bloomed. Tentative. We met at the Overlook, words tumbling. Hurts aired, promises resealed. No more secrets, he vowed. None. Kiss sealed it, deeper, healing. But Derek's shadow stretched. Saturday, a call. Unknown number. Stay away or he pays. Click. War declared. Climax neared, and we braced. Two boys against the storm. Love our only weapon. Winter crept in sneaky, frosting the desert edges with rare chill, turning breaths to ghosts in the pre-dawn dark. Jax and I had patched the fracture, but it left scars. Tentative touches, eyes scanning crowds for threats. Derek had vanished post-fest, holed up or run off. Dad stonewalling inquiries with lawyer speak. School marched on, oblivious. Pep rallies, midterms looming like storm fronts. But for us, every glance was a lifeline, every whisper a rebellion. We carved out sanctuaries. The old drive-in on Route 66, shuttered since the 80s, became ours. Screen cracked like a smile. Us parked in his truck with blankets and a thermos of Coco Mia smuggled. One night, stars pricking the velvet sky, he pulled out his guitar, strumming a new tune. Wrote it for you, he murmured, voice low against the engine tick. Desert heart, beating wild / under lights that never fade / you woke me from the silence / in this town of masquerade. I listened, chest tight, his fingers painting pictures of us. Stolen kisses in auditorium glow, rooftop confessions under mountain watch. When he finished, silence wrapped us. Profound. Love you, I said, first time voiced. Simple, seismic. Love you back. He kissed my temple, lingering. Always did, I think. Just waited for the words. We talked futures then, wild dreams. Him in Nashville, chasing labels. Me in New York, stage lights calling. We'll make it, he said, fierce. Together. But doubt whispered. Timelines tangled. My knowledge a cheat code I couldn't share. What if this loop ended? What if I woke to empty sheets, 30-something and alone again? Monday brought rot. A note in my locker. Tick-tock. Fairy. He's mine. Derek scrawl, jagged. I showed Jax at lunch, his fork clattering. We tell someone. Hargrove. Cops. No. Fear edged his voice. He'll twist it. Make it my fault. It's already twisted. I gripped his hand under the table, visible defiance. Whispers started, theater boys holding hands, but we held anchors. That afternoon, band room sanctuary. Him teaching me chords, my fingers fumbling over frets. Laughter bubbled, light-piercing clouds. Then his phone buzzed, Dad. He answered, reluctant, voice shifting deferential. Yeah, sir. Practice ran late. Muffled bark. Then, Durs. Coming home. Counseling. Family stuff. Hang up, face drained. Thinks therapy fixes everything. Like words erase bruises. I pulled him close, chin on his shoulder. It can, if you let it. He softened, turning into the hug. With you? Maybe. Evening found us at my place. Mom out, house humming quiet. We cooked. Quesadillas sizzling, his awkward knife skills drawing giggles. Over plates, stories spilled. His Alabama summers, fireflies in jars. My dad's abandonment, stage my escape. Vulnerability bridged us, deeper than skin. Post-dinner, on the couch, movie flickering, Rocky Horror, ironic. His head in my lap, my fingers carding hair. Alex, sleepy voice. Promise we'll be okay. Promise. But as credits rolled, unease stirred. Car idled outside too long. I peeked. Derek, silhouette hulking, eyes on windows. Jax. He bolted up, peering. Shit. We froze, curtains twitching. Engine revved, taillights fleeing. Heartbeat echoed. Told you, Jax whispered, trembling. He's watching. We barricaded, doors locked, lights low. But sleep evaded. Us tangled in sheets, whispers against fear. Dawn broke gray, school a battlefield. Mia rallied. Confront him, before he escalates. Jax nodded, resolute. Tonight, family dinner. I'll talk sense. I went to, uninvited but insistent, Harlan House. Sprawling rancher on the hill, flags snapping in wind, truck gleaming ominous. Dad answered, barrel-chested, eyes cold. Rivera, bold. Here for Jax. Chin up. Inside, awkward tableau. Derek at table, sullen. Mom's chair empty, ghost. Dad grunted grace, plates clinking tense. Jax squeezed my knee under table, anchor. Talk tiptoed, school, football. Then Dad, heard about the incident. Derek says you started it, boy. Lie. My voice steady. He attacked. Because of us. Silence imploded. Derek surged. Us? You corrupted him, you. Enough. Jax slammed fist, chair scraping. Dia, stop. I love him. Deal with it. Dad's fork dropped, clatter deafening. Love? Boy, that's real. Jax stood, hand in mine. And if you can't see that, we're done pretending. Derek's face twisted. Rage. Hurt. Something broken. You choose him over family? You're not family if you hate this hard. Jax's voice cracked, but held. Chaos. Shouts. Dad red-faced, Derek lunging again. I shoved back, Jax pulling him off. See? This is us. Broken because you won't bend. Dad froze, hand raised, then dropped, defeated. Out. Both of you. Before I. We fled, night air biting, Jax's truck a getaway. Blocks away, he pulled over, sobs racking. Lost them. For real. I held him, rocking. Gained us. That's enough. But betrayal's blade twisted deeper. At school next day, whispers shifted. Not just us, but Jax sold out Derek. Anonymous email to paper. Harlan Air disown's brother over gay fling. Lies twisted. Jax confronted Derek at practice, public, brutal. You leak that? To hurt me? Derek sneered. Helmet under arm. Truth hurts, bro, dad's ashamed. Football's done. Punch landed, Jax's fist, Derek crumpling. Coach hauled them apart, suspensions raining. Jax benched, dreams guttered. He spiraled. Skipped classes, guitar silent. I found him at Overlook, staring void. Can't do this, Alex. Dragging you down. No. I straddled the bench, framing his face. We're rising. Together. Kiss desperate, reclaiming. But fracture widened, his silence growing, texts curt. Climax crashed Friday. Storm rolling in, thunder rumbling like judgment. Rehearsal for holiday showcase. Hargrove's unity ploy. Jax absent. I paced wings, Mia fretting. Call him. Voicemail. Panic clawed. Post-curtain, I biked to Harlan's. Lights off, truck gone. Deserted. Neighbor. Left. All of him. Dad packed him up midnight. Gone. Betrayal final, Jax, without word? No. A note. Slipped under my door by dawn. Can't break you too. Forgive me. Austin. G. Heart shattered. He ran to protect or flee. Rain lashed as I crumpled it. Sobs mingling with downpour. Weeks blurred. Showcase aced, but hollow. Mom's hugs, Mia's pep talks, anchors in void. I wrote letters, unsent, poured pain into songs, staged my confessional. Months turned. Spring bloom, Prom lights. I danced with Mia, but eyes searched crowds for gray. Summer scorched, job at shop grinding. One night, closing, radio hummed familiar riff. Jax's voice, demo aired local, desert heart climbing charts. Pride swelled, ache too. He made it. Without me, fall semester loomed, college apps stacked. Then package, cassette, labeled for the boy who woke me. Track 1. Our song, layered vocals, I'm coming back. Wait, heart leaped. Call, Austin number. Alex. Jax. Tears. Where? Here. Bus pulled in an hour ago. Meet me? Overlook. I flew, truck lights cutting night. He stood, leaner, guitar case scarred. Ran to record. For us, Dad's therapy working slow. Der 2. Wrote me last week. Sorry. Forgive. Voice small. Already. He pulled me close, kiss homecoming, salt, stars, second chances. Marry me? Someday. Laughter bubbled. Someday. We drove back, hands linked, dawn gilding mountains. Villain tamed, love victorious, not perfect, but human, real. And in this life or the next it was enough. No wait, the loop tugged, fog creeping. Was this end or beginning? As sun rose I held tighter. Whatever came we'd face it. Awake, alive, in love. The Albuquerque sun rose merciless that morning, painting the sandiest in strokes of rose and gold, as if the universe itself conspired to underscore the fragility of new beginnings. Jax's truck idled at the overlook, engine a low purr against the wind whispering through pinyon branches, and I sat beside him, our fingers intertwined over the gearshift, a tether against the unraveling I'd felt building since his return. His demo played soft on the stereo, desert heart weaving its spell, but beneath the melody hummed the undercurrent of all we'd survived. The fists, the flights, the fractures that had nearly felled us. You're quiet, he said, glancing sidelong, his profile sharp against the dawn. The bruise from months back had faded to memory, but new lines etched his eyes, tour where, late nights in smoky clubs chasing chords and crowds. Just processing, truth, layered. In this bizarre reset of my life, I'd carried the weight of 2 timelines. The first, a decade of what-ifs where Jax became legend on faded mixtapes, me a barista nursing regrets. This one, raw and real, where we'd clawed our way to here. Austin treated you well? He chuckled, low, thumb tracing my knuckle. Kicked my ass. Gigs and dives. Sleeping on couches. One near miss with a producer who thought authentic meant cheap whiskey. Pause serious. But it gave me space. To heal. To write you into every song. Heat bloomed in my chest. Heard Embers on the radio last week. Broke me open. Good. His grin flashed, boyish. Meant to. He killed the engine, turning fully, hand cupping my jaw. Missed this. Us. Kiss followed, slow and sure. Morning light filtering through lashes. Taste of coffee and home. When we broke, foreheads pressed, he murmured, Dad called yesterday. Ders enrolling at UNM next fall. Art major, believe it? Says the villain gig was played out. Laughter escaped, genuine. Redemption arc. Who knew? Therapy, Jax shrugged. And you, that night at dinner, your stand? Shook him, made him see. Pride swelled, mingled with ache. Family's messy, but worth the fight. We drove back slow, windows down, wind tousling hair like eager fingers. My house first, Mom's car absent, shift calling. On the porch, Jax lingered, backpack slung. Gonna crash at a motel sort gigs. But dinner? Tonight. Your pick. Deal. Kiss goodbye, lingering. As his truck faded, I entered, house quiet but alive. Photos on walls, mine and Mom's, a testament to endurance. School, now community college for me, bridging to NYU additions, resumed rhythm. Mia, home from break, tackled me in the quad. Spill! The prodigal rock star returns. I did over cafeteria slop, her eyes wide. Epic. But if he ghosts again. Won't. Certainty bone deep. Afternoon. Theater lab. Hargrove grayer but grinning. Rivera. Audition packet, rent. Marks open. Heart leaped, La Vie Boheme, echoes of us. Evening. Diner on Central, neon buzzing. Jack's in a booth nursing shake. We ordered burgers, talked dreams, his label nibbles, my callback whispers. Under table, boots hooked, world narrowed. But shadows lingered. Post-meal, walking neon-lit streets, his phone buzzed. Unknown. He silenced, but tension coiled. I guessed. Nah. Fan mail. Creepy kind. Dismissive, but eyes scanned alleys. Home. Alone. Unease gnawed. Dreams tangled. Derek's fist. Jack's vanishing in dust storms. Woke sweating. Texted. Here? Reply, always. Weeks stacked. Golden. Jack's gigged locals, dive bars, coffee shops, me front row, cheering. One night, the launch pad. Smoke hazed. Crowd electric. He dedicated Desert Heart to the one who woke me. Eyes locking mine. Applause thundered. But post-set. In green room. Kiss fierce. Sweat slick. Triumphant. Love you, he gasped. Forever. But fall deepened. Chill biting. Derek's text to Jack's. Tentative bridges, sorry. Bro misjamming. Jack's shared, healing slow. Climax simmered. Then boiled. Label offer. Nashville. 6 months, Jack said over Pozole at home. Mom beaming approval. Tour, record. Then back. Joy Ward with dread. Go. Shine. But goodbye loomed airport dawn raw. Hugs fierce. Kiss salt stung. Wait for me. Always. Plane taxied. Heart wrenched. Months stretched. Calls nightly. His voice crackling from stages. My rent run. Reviews raving raw vulnerability. Mia visited set. Teasing leading man glow. Holidays. Him home brief. Family dinner. Derek awkward but present. Dad toasting to new chapters. Laughter genuine. Fractures mending. Spring. Callback Juilliard nod. Jax's album dropped. Waking Shadows. Peaking indie charts. Track 5 second act our story veiled. Summer scorched. Reunion at Overlook. Him tanned. Vinyl in hand. For you. Side B vows whispered over guitar. Marry me. Ring simple silver band etched notes. Tears. Yes. Wedding small. Desert sunset. Mia officiating. Mom dabbing eyes. Derek best man. Grinning sheepish. Vows. In this life and if we wake again. Honeymoon. Road trip. Route 66 haunts. Stops at diners, jams in motels. Love lazy and deep. Years unfolded. His tours, my Broadway blink. House in the hills. Dog named Encore. Derek visited, artist now, canvases of redemption. One night, stars wheeling, Jack strummed old riff. Remember rehearsals? That first look. Like yesterday. I leaned in, head on shoulder. Best plot twist. Kiss soft. And as sleep claimed, no fog pulled, no loop ending. This was it. Humanistic close. Love's quiet triumph. Not fairy tale, but real, flawed, fierce, forever. In the American heartland, where dreams chase horizons, we woke not to regrets, but each other. And that, brothers and sisters, was the encore worth every scar.